Allow me to present my credentials. I'm the fellow in the middle. The weapon I'm shouldering is a Chinese-made AK-47 assault rifle. The two lads on either side of me were ARVN soldiers. ARVN standing for Army Republic of Vietnam. That army does not exist anymore. The uniform is made of Nomex, a fire retardant material. It is the uniform of a helicopter crew member. Greetings. I'm a former Cub Scout, Boy Scout, who knew how to correctly fold the American flag by the time he was 12. My father was a chief petty officer in the Merchant Marine in World War II. I had one uncle in the European theater and one in the South Pacific. I was a reluctant draftee. My MOS, or Military Occupational Specialty, was 67N20, which is UH-1H helicopter repair. Now, I could have stayed on the ground and been a little bit safer, although you could still get a rocket or mortar attack, and I could have just worked on the maintenance. But I volunteered to take the flight physical, without which you cannot fly. I became a crew chief on UH-1H helicopters in Vietnam and also over Cambodia, while Nixon, another lying Republican president who tried to steal an election, was telling my parents and the world that I wasn't there. Later on, I came back, joined Winter Soldier, and then was a founding member of the Vietnam Veterans Theater Company in New York. In addition to mounting stage productions, we also took it upon ourselves to entertain at the veterans hospitals and around the area. The DAV got wind of us and funded us to send us out to some other VA hospitals, and I think there's some archaic footage where I probably look younger in some old 60 Minutes episode when they covered us. All of this gives me the moral and patriotic authority to say George W. Bush ran from his flight physical for the Texas National Guard, a position that his father got him. And then he sent troops to 2 failed wars. There's even a question as to whether or not he fulfilled his Texas National Guard obligation. Dick Cheney, 5 deferments. He's quoted as saying he had other priorities. Then he sent troops to 2 failed wars. Lindsey Graham. He brags about being a veteran, but he was a JAG officer, a lawyer, who was never going to get shot at. Now, while he was in, he could have transferred to infantry officer training if he wanted to, but I guess he didn't want to kill the commies badly enough. Now, there's currently a representative Republican, Troy Nehls, who's been parading around in the halls with a combat infantry badge, a CIB badge, which he did not earn. Oddly enough, I have not seen leader Mitch McConnell come up and make any statement about it. Now, Mitch was making statements against the Obama administration all the time, backed by Cornyn and Barrasso. There's also an Arizona state senator named Steve Salto, who clumsily and ironically enough tried to modify his DD-214, which is a legal document, by the way, to make it look like he did some sort of helicopter service or not. Then there's J.D. Vance. Well, J.D. Vance is very awkward to say, so if you don't mind, I'll use your first name, Jerk, which I'm sure is what the J stands for. His job was to help aid another Republican first, which was corralling the press of America to cover only what the military wanted them to see. And that was his job. Now, juxtaposed against all of this, I have to say that I've got no problem with the sterling career of Command Sergeant Major Walls. Now, I don't have a slick side camera like Jon Stewart does, so I'm going to fake it. Timmy, baby, come on by my house anytime. I've got hundreds of Vietnam pictures I'm sure you'd have an interest in. I even have the repair manual for the UH-1H that I took when I left, and I'm not giving it back. And I can pick a few songs for you on the 5-string. I know a few funny, dirty ones. Conversely, if any of the Republicans I mentioned want to come by my house, even though it's illegal and I'd probably go to jail, I'd be hard-pressed not to scrape your face on the pavement of the sidewalk for 20 minutes or so, in memory of the 3 names, Dewey, Littleton, and Lubbenhausen, that are on the name of the wall in D.C. that we gave ourselves. Stallion 920, over and out.